Hi, all, and welcome to Mennonite's Treasure Vortex with Gypsy Jules from YouTube Zero Discrimination, as well as gypsydigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. So, if you caught us 2 weeks ago with Victoria or V on, you know that we were having some system difficulties. We are having the same issues tonight, even though I thought I had fixed them. We had another update, and there is still a wonderful echo during all of our tests. So we are going to try and have this show tonight. If the echo is too bad, we're going to rely on those of you in chat to give feedback. If it's okay, if it's not, if I suddenly seem like I disappear for a second, I'm going to still be working on it on the back end because I was able to make it disappear on the last show, and hoping I could do the same tonight. But so, hi everyone. Sorry for last week. Definitely the drive back from Digstock in North Carolina. It took a little bit longer than we had anticipated. We hit DC traffic, and then we hit New York traffic, and then we hit, I think it was Connecticut traffic. There was like, I don't know, 10 accidents in Connecticut on 15. And we got back at about, I don't know, 8 or 9 p.m. So there was no time to try to be able to get, yeah, it was after the show should have started. So I'm sorry for that. And I know, Gypsy, you had your first event this weekend. So I know neither one of us have really gotten a chance to catch up. So how are you this evening?
I'm great. Good to hear from you. I know it's been a while because we didn't have one last week, but the week before, and yeah, I'm hoping there's not a major echo. Please post and let us know what you're hearing and if it sounds okay. I know right now when we were testing, I was hearing myself echo in a delay, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not hearing the echo anymore. Oh, and Shauna says you have a good echo. All right, I'm gonna keep working on it. Is it like, what did we say last or 2 weeks ago? Is it is it like okay?
Reverb, Swamp says.
No.
Yeah, it says Gypsy's echoing bad, yes.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like to us in chat. I'll try to be quiet.
So I know Gypsy had her first hunt, and I can't wait to hear about that. There would be no reverb or echo for me as I have the system on my hand. So I'm going directly into it, whereas anyone we call in or anything like that would be coming through the system a little differently. So that's why we run tests before the show. And yeah. I ran tests even earlier with Jon, calling him, and for some reason, there's no echo with him. But there wasn't an echo with him for the night of Victoria either. And then we all got together and there was an echo. So, but all right, I'll ramble while I try to fix this for a second. So, Digstock was an absolute blast. I did make a post on the review. There's like a seated and natural hunt review thingamajiggy on Facebook, and I posted a post there. I personally, and I think Gypsy and I have talked about this a lot, because we go to a lot of hunts, whether they're seated, natural, or both. And, neither one of us ever really plan on finding really anything. You have your hopes, you have whatever that you're gonna, maybe find, but there's really no guarantees on natural hunts. There really isn't. I mean, Digsock gives you an awesome map. They put on there all the artifact sites like Native American, the arrowheads and pottery. There's fields listed that might have those. There was areas that you could magnet fish. Everyone on the Dig Stock Talk, if they found a bottle dump, they put it in the chat on Facebook so people could go and they told them where it was. And then there's metal detecting. There was 7,000 acres. 7,000. And the
Crazy.
first,
That's a lot of acres.
I know, that first, so Thursday was, I think I got this right. Thursday was the meet and greet and like an all day get to meet with the manufacturers. You get to meet with other YouTube people and TikTok people and Instagram people. They had cornhole or like different games going on, a band and food trucks. And you know me, I walked around. I always bring the goodie bag for grab bags. And I love just meeting people. I got to talk to Butch and I got to pick up his new book, which is pretty exciting. I got to see, a lot of people, and it's crazy. There were people I missed that I found out like after the fact that were there. And it was just, there was a lot of people. And so Friday came to, we're metal detecting, and Jon and I picked the first site that we decided we wanted to hit. And we went out there, and I mean, we found lead and can slaw, lots of can slaw, which is, I mean, any of our fields up here, we dig can slaw. And then I found where shotgun head stamps go to die. And it was funny because, I was detecting these cornrows. And then I took a break and I saw KK and I stopped and we were chatting. And I looked on the ground and the newer ones with like the plastic, but they still have the brass head stamp. They were everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this must be a fun spot to come and hunt or to shoot, or maybe they do, whatever they do with that. And I was like, so probably not the best of choices for the first place to detect. Plus, I haven't been detecting since January and I did hurt my arm. So right there, we were swinging in stalks. Um, And I think we swung for about 5 hours or so before I was like, hey, let's go hit this other field. Midday, we switched it up. And Jon and I both started seeing, is it flakes or chert or shards of arrowheads on the surface while metal detecting. And I was like, nope, that's it. I'm putting my detector in the car. I'm not going to hurt my arm in case we decide we want to detect someplace else later. I'm going to, me, I like to mudlark. I use my eyes. So I'm like, this is perfect. I'm going to I spy some arrowheads or pottery. And out of nowhere, Jon's like, do you think this is it? And I like went over and I'm like, oh my gosh, it is. He found his very first arrowhead. And then
That's awesome.
Then he found a second, and then he called me over. He came over to me, and we were talking for a minute, and then he looked down, and he's like, and he found his third, and he's like, "Don't look at me." I'm like, "You SOB. I haven't even found one yet." We got a good laugh out of that, and then we separated and started wandering in different directions, and then I found my first quartz arrowhead. Um, and it was a blast. That's what we spent the entire remainder of the afternoon doing, was just eyeballing um, and looking for that. It was sprinkling out, so it was great. The ground was wet, and yeah, that was the first day of hunting. And honestly, in that first afternoon, our weekend was made. I mean, find wise, because we were able to switch it up and find something that we had really hoped, we would find and had the opportunity to find, and it was there. It wasn't metal detecting, but
You
man,
know,
go ahead.
and you'd said that before you left that that's been one of your bucket listers for a long time, is to find an arrowhead. I know we've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, that's been on my list, even going and being able to search. It's been on my list. And sorry, Al. And so, day two of detecting, we picked up the detectors and we picked out a new field and we went detecting. And I mean, I dug a lot of trash. I dug some actually really cool twist top, the old aluminum twist top bottle caps, one with like a horse on it, and like just, you find weird stuff here and there. But John found a wonderful big dandy. And at that point, I forget who I said I was going to go meet a couple people I knew at the tent for noon. So we ended up leaving that site. And then both of us were like, you know what? Let's go back to the site that we found the arrowhead. So we did. We went back and um, there was a group of arrowhead hunters, and I'm not sure if that's what they're called. I think so. But they had these like big sifters, like the two-person sifters and the one person that you could kind of lean and shake. And they had dug a pit and um, right before we left, I was a lot, they were like, oh yeah, I met this girl Emily, and she was doing it, and I'm like, do you mind? Could I do two shovelfuls and try this sifter and see how it feels, and then I'll give it back to you. And she's like, absolutely. So I dug around and threw some dirt in, and I found this big piece of pottery, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So she was really nice to do that and let me do that, and it was a blast. It was a blast. And then the third day, that's all we did was arrowhead hunt. It was raining. It was perfect to go back out and look. And he ended up finding like I think three more. I found another, and it was a blast. I had an absolute great time. I mean, between seeing friends that there were some people we didn't even know were going to be there that like surprised us, so that was cool. And then I got to see like Paul and Gail from New York, and I already talked about seeing KK, and it was great. I even Tim, I think he's in chat. I got to see him and meet his girlfriend, and oh, the stuff found was just amazing. But again, with these types like of hunts, there's no guarantee you're gonna find Jack Diddley, like to be quite honest. I've gone to enough natural hunts that, um, especially around here, that if you don't make an event out of just going and seeing people and just getting on new ground, like you're going to be miserable. And I think it seems that's what kind of echoed in a lot of the posts I saw. So I was kind of disappointed that I put up a pretty good positive post that I had a blast, and it had a lot of negative feedback.
That's sad. There's a lot of people like that will, you can't please everybody. I realize that, but I mean, to me, I mean, when I went before, I found a lot of colonial flat buttons, and a lot of times that's all you find in some of those colonial, areas. So